What's up guys, and welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to be making a detailed explanation, guide, and show a build you can use for your first time for North Extreme until you get better equipment as you progress through it. So first thing is I'm using basically the lowest level stuff I've got that you can just, this is non-extreme gear. This is stuff that you can get from the normal raid or from probably legendary smiths like this. But I'm just gonna run with this Skyrim and then this Skyrim that I had on Yu-Gi-Oh that I just took off. Close of Tranquility, you can get this from the West raid on normal. Whenever you fight the giant spider mini boss towards the end, as you progress through it, you can go through a door and there'll be a lizard mini boss, and you can fight that, open the chest. You either get this or you can get the aberrant armor, which is this. Spirit Artisan, you can get this from the legendary smith. You unlock him after you beat the story, so this is something you can make. You can also do the uploading if you're on PlayStation. I don't know how it works for the other platforms, but if you're PlayStation, you can upload your save to PS Plus storage, or you can upload it to a USB, and when you do that, I suggest you upload everything on there. And once you do that, then you want to go to the smith, craft. If it's not something you want that's good, close the game and then re-download that previous save. Just do that over and over until you get what you want. I don't have like a capture card or anything like that, so I can't show what you would do, but on your PlayStation home menu, close application and then hit options on the game's icon, and then you'll see upload save data. Ring of Tranquility, you really need one with bulwark mostly, which is this. So you get this from the West raid as well, normal, from the final boss chest. This can take you a while to get. Oh, forgot to mention Skyrim, you can get this from the South raid on normal from the final boss chest. I suggest this mostly because it has dex and agility, which is what you would need for dual wield. Dex, agility, and strength. Now, for these are the sword skills I'm using: Shine Circular, Final Revolution, Starburst, and Nightmare. Reason why is because with Shine, Final, and Nightmare, you can actually down mobs with it. So you would want to start off, like once you hazard them, you want to use Shine, then use Final, and then use Nightmare Rain, and that'll fully down them. Starburst, because it's the EX skill, does mad damage. Passives, I'm using the new Spear passive that gives you more super art duration, because super arts are better than finish arts. You will want to use super arts more. Killing Blow for more critical power, Rising Spirit to 5% in all stats, and Evil God Bloodline. You can probably also, if you want to replace Rising Spirit, you can, you could put Blade Dance there, because technically you'll have if you have two bulwarks, you can put one on you and then one on a Debuffer AI. Now, combat skills, Galvanize for max art gauge, so I can fully use a super art. Bulwark, of course, for 10% all stats. Billion Blossom for skill connection. This, if you don't know what it does, you activate it and it'll keep your skill connection. So as long as you don't like just stand there right after you're done with your skills and you lose it, you're good. You just need to step. Reaper's Wrath for more crit. Also, now that I bring up the skill connection, you want to go to your game settings, and you want to go to other settings, and where is it? It's one of these somewhere. I believe it might be that. Show battle details. Maybe. Okay, no. It's this. Show further gameplay elements. So go to your settings, go to other settings, and go to show further gameplay elements, turn that on because it makes it to where it shows up your skill connects EX count. So that way you'll know. So basically like this. So see that? And then you just stand still and it goes away. But with Billion Blossom, I actually don't have SP right now. Let me... Actually, I'll just show it. I'll show it in a bit when I go up in there. But basically, as long as you don't stand still and you have Billion Blossom active, you just want to step. So by step, I mean do that. And then you want to immediately activate the skills again. You'll see what I mean whenever I do go in the raid. Now, custom skills, these are tricky to kind of explain. You either get them or you don't. These are something you massively will need. Now, for combat skills, you can use any armor right here. All you need is this Incarnation, Phoenix Incarnation, for SP consumption minus 50%, and the cooldown time, which is the big factor you want on it. Forgotten Talisman, it doesn't matter what the stats are, you just want the passive. Same thing with Traveler's Cloak, because it gives you more cooldown time reduced. So, Forgotten Talisman, this is from the South raid. You get this on just completing the raid. So, all you need to do, complete the raid, get the passive, and then put this on a skill. Also, keep in mind, if you mess up with your custom skills, so say this is the setup I got on this for Galvanize, and then I go to Bulwark and say I put Forgotten Talisman right here instead of it being right there, it's gonna mess up. So make sure you know which ones you're selecting and which ones you're placing, because that also goes for if you put this on the AI, because if you put this on the AI as well, it has to be a different thing. So Traveler's Cloak, I have 2 of these. The one I'm using has 17 for its stat. Let me scroll down to it. Yeah, the one I have that I'm using on me has agility 17. And then for my buffer AI, I'm using one that has agility 23. That's because you can't use the same thing, because if you use it on another AI, it's going to disappear on you. Like, it won't have that passive or anything, and its stats will be lower. So in all these combat skills, that's just the same. Now, the custom skills for sword skills. Now, using dual wield, you want to get the steel riding armor. This is something you will want to have, I think, even if you're not a person who dual wields, because this is one of the strongest armors in the game, and very strong for dual wield since it's strength and agility. Now, you want to get the down Incarnation, which I will show you that in just a second because I'm right where you can get it. And in custom skills, I throw on Abyssal Ring. This is good because you can get this from normal East Raid, Final Boss Chest. You get Strength, Dex, and you can get some crit on it. For the crit stat, I'd say don't go any lower than 8. 8 and above crit is good. If it's 7, then yeah, you can get by with it. Now for the stats for strength and dex, I'd say you mainly want 50 plus for both of them, mainly. If not, I would suggest you can stack 2 of those. So what I mean by stack is, so I call this right here, all these equipment right here, I call this default gear because it's not custom or anything, it's just pure gear. And as you can see, I have my Ring of Tranquility in the accessory 2 slot. So when I go in custom for sword skills, if I want to use my stats in my Ring of Tranquility and my Abyssal Ring at the same time, I need to put Abyssal Ring in the accessory 1 slot. Because when you activate a custom skill or a sword skill, it's going to switch your equipment. So this steel riding armor I have on for Shine Circular, when I activate Shine Circular, my armor is going to change to that. It's not going to be the Clothes of Tranquility right here. So that's the explanation on how the custom skills work, if you can understand that. But like I said, if you want to, like if you really need more accuracy, stack 2 abyssals. So you can either stack 2 abyssals, or you can try using 1 bulwark, and then if you have a AI with bulwark as well, you can try using 2 of those, because you should be good with 2 of those. But yeah, just try that. And then for Final Revolution, I use this as a hazard skill to fill up the enemy's hazard bar, so I can then down it fast. So you want to get white mist armor, and the strength on it doesn't matter. You don't even need to upgrade this. I wouldn't even upgrade it, because a hazard skill, in my opinion, is not gonna, it's not meant for damage. So you want it with the passive, which on critical hazard gauge plus 50%. So whenever you crit with this, it's gonna fill up the hazard gauge even more. Violent Flash Incarnation, this also boosts the hazard gauge on crit. So this armor, you can get it from a service, or not service quest, relic quest. And the location for that is in the east region, and it's right over here. You can teleport right here, and there's a spider boss you will fight right here, and on completion you'll get the white mist armor. And that's in the east region, and that's the first area, Sylvia Mountains. So that's what I use on that. I use the same abyssal ring as well. Nightmare Rain, I use this as hazard as well. You could also, if you know how skill connection works, as skill connecting boosts your damage as well, you could get these boots right here, which will give you a skill connect EX count +1. So instead of the default 2 out of 2 you can go to, you can then have 3 out of 3. So that's something you can do. As a beginner, I'd say don't worry about this. So, but this is something I use as hazard as well. Usually if I do run north though, I don't use Nightmare Rain. I will just use Inferno Raid as another down damage skill, because this can hit hard as well. Starburst Stream, this you'll want to have as a down damage skill as well. So Nightmare and Final Revolution you want as hazard. Shine Circular and Starburst you want as down damage. EX skill, Berserker. And for records, I'm gonna use Prodigy because I have enough accuracy to do the North Extreme. But for new people, I suggest you end up picking up Nimble. This will increase your character's accuracy even more. And for the anima, since there's not too many you can use, Uptight is really good to pretty much keep on at all times. You can get this from Sheta. Now Nimble, I can't remember where you get it from. I know there's a video online that shows all the characters, personas and animas that you can get from them. So I suggest you go look at that so you can know where to get this. Now that's pretty much it for this, like just the whole setup on your character done. Also, another thing is, I do suggest getting your weapon proficiency up, because getting your weapon proficiency gets your accuracy for that overall weapon increased. Same thing with bond levels. Like if you see right there that green line that's fully filled, that's max bond level. As you increase your bond, the stats on that weapon that are on there, they increase for you as well. So this is max bond. I got the increases from that. But this one, since it was on Yu-Gi-Oh! And I had to reset the bond level, I'm not getting any bonus from this. Also, for the Incarnation slot on your default armor, I don't think I have one in my inventory, but I suggest you get a Lightning Incarnation. I might have one up here. Yeah, Lightning Incarnation. I suggest you get this. Sacred Art charge time minus 30%. This will make it to where you charge them faster. And keep in mind, if you get hit with by an enemy, that can break it. So if you're going to be getting hit a lot, I suggest not to use it until you probably get to just the boss fight. You can get that in the north region in Uisha Valley. There's a chest down here guarded by some links, and just kill them and open it. Now for the down incarnation, this is where you'll want to get it. I'm gonna go up in here and show you the route, and if this is your first time going through here, you'll need to open the doorway to get to this for the shortcut. Now that we're in, just follow the path I'm taking. I've already got the door opened on here, so as for people who don't have the door opened, you'll need to get that open. You'll just have to travel on the left side and then make your way all the way over here to open. But you want to come to this chest guarded by these snails. Kill them. And then this will open up for you. And that's where you get the down incarnation. So besides that, let's see, hazard incarnation, you can get this from the east region, and that will be up in this area. There will be a clamp cluster, and you will get it from there. That's also what you would get it from, and there's also another one you'll need to get down here that's a clamp cluster for the incarnation. It'll be for partner AI, I believe it is. Or I believe it's for the Phoenix incarnation. But besides that, that's pretty much it for your character build. Now I'll go over the buffer. So me, I use Philia. Dagger characters are really the best ones you can use for buffing, debuff. Mainly depends who you want to use. Me, before I was using Lenal because she was one of my favorites, and then Philia dropped, so Philia's also one of my favorites, so I'm using her. You want the Vein Shredder. It doesn't matter if you upgrade it or not. You want it mainly for Tiger's Resolve to get crit rate and critical power. This will be essential. Now for armor, I use White Mist. Mainly you want to get Reaper's Wrath Plus on it. And for the incarnation slot, I use the Beauty Incarnation because chain level 4 gets unlocked, and the chain burst risk correction, which don't know much about what it does, but to me, my thoughts on it is that whenever a chain is triggered, it makes the enemy's risk gauge go up faster. But this you will get from a map in a chest. You will get this from Villain Plateau in the west region, and you mainly want to fast travel right here. Once you get here, you'll want to just follow down this pathway. And you'll see these bugs over here. And then there's a chest. Kill these bugs. And after you kill them, just open this chest. And there's the Beauty Incarnation. Also, the incarnation I was speaking of for this right here, Phoenix Incarnation, you get that from the Clamp Cluster down here in the East region in Traders Pass. It's located right there where my cursor is. That's where you get that. Now, Philia setup, like I said, you wanted to get that because since even though the Incarnation isn't on you, it can still trigger even on your AI. Now, I have another Ring of Tranquility on her for the Bulwark, and this is the Wood Ornamented Belt. This you want because the combat skill Firebolt Plus, which gives you skill speed and attack, which skill speed is more important. But you get this from the North region, the very first map, Loden Mountains. You can fast travel up here, and there will be a boss, a little boss. You have to do some service quests here to get it to spawn because it's a mob drop. But I will show you this boss. So once you get here, just fast travel right down here, or whenever you just spawn up here after fast traveling, you want to make your way over here. And after you've completed the service quests, I don't know if you need to complete every single one or just a certain amount in this area, but you'll see this guy, Thornbug. And all you need to do is just kill it, and it has a chance at dropping the Wood Ornament Belt. Keyword is chance, so farm that. It's not essential, but it makes things easier. If you don't want to farm for that, or if you want to still go to the North raid, I suggest you just use you can use the regular version of it, or you can use Sword of the Goddess, which is also the same thing. Only thing is that the regular Firebolt, this is better than Sword of the Goddess. So now that's pretty much it for what I have set up on her. Her EX skill is Buffer. Now, reason for that is if you go in buff list, you can scroll down and you'll see Buffer Area of Effect. So this just makes it to where whenever I use her skills, they can go over to her, or go over to my character or any of my teammates. Now passives, I put SP regen on her, I put Souls In for max HP, Spiritual Cage for more cooldown, and Soul Extraction for more SP consumption minus, so she doesn't use as much. Skills up here, you'll need Special Accuracy for Shadow Stitch to hit the speed debuff, but I believe you should be fine. Like, I think she can hit this on the North boss as is. Try Pierce, that's for the defense down debuff. Eternal Cyclone, I just had that on whenever I was getting her proficiency up a bit. Now records, I left Discerning on her. This is something that she can have. There's not many good animas you can put on these characters unless you want them to actually do like some sort of damage. You can put Uptight on them as well if they have the accuracy to hit the boss, but usually for me I just use Luxter, which this is only for item drop rate and drop amount for mobs, like when you kill them and they drop their materials. Now for this Born Leader, this one I know you can get from Bercoli. I use this on the Buffer, so it can actually put these skills on my character. And if you're a multiplayer, these skills can also, with Born Leader, they can also go to your teammates. I could be wrong about that because I did have someone mention, I forgot how they worded it, but Born Leader, like some of these plus skills, they can already share with people without Born Leader. But generally for Buffer AI, I'd say you'd want Born Leader During one update though, some AI started doing random buffs even though it's not on their records or anything like that, so depending on who you're using, it could overbuff somebody, so keep that in mind. Now for debuffer, I use Silica. Silica setup is you want a Dagger of the White Knight. You mainly want the special accuracy on it to be 20. 20 is the max you can get on it without upgrading it to +5. But when you do upgrade it to +5, it gets to 25. You want Close of Tranquility, I'd say with good dex. Actually, yeah, you do want one with good dex and special accuracy on it. Earrings of Silence, good dex again, special accuracy. And Abyssal Ring you want because you want Wits End. This is going to be a crucial skill to have on. This will make your damage be way higher. Now, for the setup for her, I have 2 Shadow Stitches. I was setting up one for custom so she could land it easier on high stuff, but I took it off or something like that. EX skill used for debuffer for more special accuracy. Now for the skills on her, I use Black Chains of Discord, Child of Chaos, and mostly I'm using these because it increases special accuracy, as you can see. Wits End and Mind Break. Wits End goes off special accuracy, so you want to Close of Tranquility here as well, and you want this Mythic of Usurpation. Now this, I believe, and also I will take this off right here because that is a extreme raid item. So instead you can put like another one of these Earrings of Silence. So let me see, that one's 4520. So I could just put that in the opposite slot and have 2 of those on, so put that. Now, oh yeah. So Mythic of Usurpation, you can get this from South Region, and I believe it's, let me see, this area. I'm gonna fast travel here and see. And yes, this is where you can get Mythic of Usurpation. So kill the clamps in this area, then destroy this clamp, and you'll get it on completion. Now as for Mind Break, this will instantly hazard a mob or fill up their whole hazard gauge so then you can down them. This goes based off of accuracy. I'll also take that off since that is an extreme raid item. But this goes based off accuracy, so that right there should be fine. Another thing is the passives I'm using. Shadow Hand, special accuracy plus 15%. Mental Resonance, special accuracy plus 20%. Spiritual Cage, cooldown time minus 10%. And Hawkeye for 10% accuracy because I kind of want her to hit a bit so she can land those slow debuffs, even though I think Philia can still land them as well. Another thing I do want to mention is combat skills, being able to set ticks on them. By ticks, I mean you can put more additions on them, I guess you can say. So as you can see in the green, you got all those increases in the green, and you have all the negative effects up in the pinkish color, I guess you can say. So you go to skill map, and on the skill screen, all you gotta do, press X on the skill, and you'll have to spend skill points to unlock these, but you can just turn these off, turn them on. You know, that's basically what that is. I'll also go back to my character and show you. See, Galvanize, these are the ticks that I use on it. So SP recovery, and required SP. Billion Blossom. I have SP regen, which technically don't need. Required SP minus, effect time, and effect time. And for Reapers, I think I had this max before for my arena build, but I decided to just change it down to this effect time, because you can overbuff yourself. Max buffs you can have on you is like 20. I don't think it's been changed or anything like that, so 20. Keep in mind, plus skills, even though this bulwark has 4 buffs, it counts as 1. So plus skills count as 1. These right here, depending on whatever you got, that's how much you're gonna get. Now, that's actually no, I gotta show the records. But for silica, I use tactical for, let's see, tactical. Where is it? Tactical gives more max HP. I mean, SP for her, because she's using all these skills. Luxter, like I said, is something I just put on them because, yeah. Now for third AI, if it's a person's first time, I highly say take a tank on your team, because you're gonna need it. And also, I do want to say, instead of having 2 dagger characters, instead of using silica as a debuffer, you can also use a rapier person as a debuffer, because, like I said, I believe Philia can land this Shadow Stitch already, so she can put the slow debuff on the mob. And then you also would want to put a rapier user on your team to hit Speak of Caliber, because that also puts a slow debuff and they both stack. So instead of silica, you could just do this exact same setup, except then put Speak of Caliber so they can put that slow debuff. But as I'd say, for a first timer, you probably want to take a tank. I suggest you take Liz, because best tank overall. Now, for the mace, this is an extreme mace, but instead I would suggest you get the silencer. Don't worry about the strength, just get the highest vitality you can get on it with this passive, because that healing given, she will heal more. Now, armor, Guardian Dragon armor, you can get this from the Divine Beast up in the desert area on completion. You can do close app method to farm this, and by close app I mean kill the Divine Beast, and once the reward screen pops up from congratulations and you can see the stats on the armor that you just got, then if it's not what you like, close the game and reload it. Now you spawn this guy in the desert. You can spawn him right here, the tablet's over there. I'll show you that location as well. So once you're here, you can see that that yellow icon on my minimap, and that's indicating that the Divine Beast is able to be fought. So for the Divine Beast, you'll have to fill up the tablet for it to get it to spawn. And to fill the tablet, you'll need to do relic quests that are mentioned on the tablet. So it'll tell you areas you need to go to, and just complete the relic quests in those areas. So as you can see, it's all lit up, all 7. And the areas you would have to go to for this one is the desert. So you want to complete all the ones in the desert. Visaya Valley, you want to do the ones there. And that's it. Then you can get this guy to spawn. And as you can see, Guardian Dragon armor, that's what he drops. So passive doesn't matter. You want to mainly go for one that has high vitality and high max HP on it. Now this Incarnation, Mythic of Rebirth, this will give you healing received 100%, max HP 20%, and HP regen. This is very good for a tank. Extremely good. And the place where you get this is in Crest Cove in the south region. You want to teleport here, or depending on whatever teleport location you have that's closest to it. And the clamp cluster that you need to fight is right up here. So complete the clamps in this area and go fight the cluster and you'll get it. So next thing for her is accessories. Overall, these are the two, this is pretty much the setup you would need for a tank. Best setup you can have. Guardian Dragon armor, in the beginning silencer, and then whenever you do get a really good vitality demon slayer from the extreme raid, put that on. And the waistcloth. So Forgotten Ring, get this from South Raid on completion. You want one with, I'd say, 50 plus vitality. This is the max roll on it, 68, so that's the highest you can get for the vitality roll on that. Lilac waistcloth, this is from a chest in the East Raid. There is a video out there showing all the chest loot up in the East Raid. I suggest go to see that so you can find where this is. I also suggest getting the passive on it for 10% vitality. This is also the max vitality roll on it as well, which is 48. But this is the setup you would have for her for, you know, HP and defense and vitality wise. EX skill, tank obviously. And for passive, transformation for more max HP. Sturdy body for max HP. Spirit of Determination for vitality. And Rising Spirit for that vitality as well. Now, combat skills, I only had these two on her because I was using her for level 200 mutated beast in multiplayer to keep us alive, but don't need these. I usually don't run anything on her for combat skills. Sword skills doesn't really matter, I'd say, as well either, because really I mainly command my buffer and tell them what to do. My buffer and then debuffer, I mostly tell them what to do, which is placing their debuffs. So like, say I'm fighting or whatever and I want to command them, I'll command Silica to use Shadow Stitch or Philia to use Shadow Stitch, and say Philia lands Shadow Stitch and I don't need Silica as a debuffer, then I'll use a Rapier person as a debuffer and use Speak of Caliber. So that's that. Her record, Stalwart for more max HP, and Luxter just because that's really it. Now, that's pretty much it for the main build. Spirit Artisan Collar, I'll show you where you can find the Legendary Smith as well real quick. So let me fast travel to Centauria and show you where you can locate him. Now once you're in Centauria, you just want to come over here. You'll unlock this guy from after you beat story, and you need to do a little quest line for him to then truly unlock his wares that he can make for you. All the items he can make, you'll need to get some Divine Beast materials and Relic Quest materials. So here he is, crafting requests. These are all the things he can make. Steel Riding Armor, this is where you want to make this. Spirit Artisan, you can make this. You can also make 2 of these if you want. In case you don't want to farm for a second Abyssal Ring, you can use Spirit Artisan Collar, or you can use Cerulean Necklace that you get from a chest in the normal North Raid that also has Dex. Or you can use another accessory from the West Raid, normal raid that you can get, which is a Black Ice Collar. This has Dex and crit on it as well, really good. Same thing with Cerulean Necklace, it has Dex. Now, forgot to mention as well, but where you get the Traveler's Cloak, you also get in Centauria. You do have to craft this as well, but this is where you will find the person to craft from. You want to go over here to where the first blacksmith is in Centauria that you really just run into. And the person is this guy right here. Talk to him, crafting request. And you'll see he has the Traveler's Cloak, and that's the materials you'll need for it. But you want to just get it with Spiritual Cage. Like I said, I suggest getting 2 of these, one for your buffer and then one for you, because this is something you'll really need to get your buffs back. Like if this fight's gonna be long for you, or just in general, just having these in general, it'll be good for you. But I believe that's everything I need to go over for a real beginner setup. Now I will just show clips of in the raid, and I will also show killing Golem, because I highly recommend beginners kill the Golem in the raid, because it can reduce the boss's max level. So I highly suggest that. And I'll also show my fight with the whale and then the Lynx mini boss, just so you can see what happened, you know, all that, you know. But that'll be pretty much it. You can take Philia, or you can take your buffer in with you if you want, or Silica, because depending on who's your partner, your first partner, they're gonna be the only ones with you in the beginning of the raid. And you can use Silica if your character's able to, if she's able to land Mind Break or Wits End. You can use it on the whale. Like, you can use Mind Break on the whale, and then I'd say use Wits End on the Lynx. But yeah, that's generally what you can do, or just take Philia, you know, make sure you get these buffs going and go ahead. But I'm gonna take Silica with me first, and then once we get to the boss room door, I can then just switch to Philia, do her buffs and everything. So gonna end this right here, and then I'm gonna go ahead and get the clips and stuff showing inside the raid. So I'll see you guys in the raid. Alright guys, so this is where you will fight the whale boss, right up in that. And this location right here is also where you can find the Golem, right here. Like I said, for beginners, I highly recommend you kill this to reduce the boss's level. So I'm just gonna Mind Break down, then just go ahead and kill it. Go on super arts. He got up. Now I didn't buff for this. You can buff. Like if you I highly suggest you do buff for this, first timers. Because this can be a really hard guy to fight. Now, for the whale, I suggest also for beginners you disable his buffs. So shut off all 3 of these devices. This will take more time, but for beginners, like I said, I highly suggest this. Until you get more used to this and learn more as you go with the setup, and really just get a feel for everything. Then once you start getting more upgrades, if you need proficiency max or bonds max, you know, this is what you can do. You can then just outright entirely skip this if you want. Turn off last console. And that's all his buffs removed that he'll have on. I am going to use my buffs when I go in to fight him. I'm going to use those right now, but I have to activate this. And then when I get to Lynx, I'm just going to use Wits. The skills on Silica. I'm also going to cut the part out running to the Lynx as well. But just go ahead and hazard it. There you go. Down it. Shine. Starburst. Chain also can do a lot of damage as well. Like, as you see, whenever like the chain level goes up, it can do a lot of damage. Okay, so now that we're here at Lynx, I'm gonna control Silica to put these debuffs on him. I also do want to mention that for all these extreme raids, from North Extreme all the way to East Extreme, you don't have to be like my level or whatever upgrade cap and stuff they have right now currently. Like, you can beat all these extreme raids at level 50. Level 50 and with +5 equipment. You can beat them. Like, you don't need all this. It just makes it a lot easier though with a higher level and everything. And as you can see, like right there, like, I don't even have both of these Skyrims upgraded. Only one of them is +5, and that one isn't even max bond. Like, you can just see how much damage that is from wits and then having bulwark. Like I said, all these extreme raids you can do +5 and with just level 50. Like I said, up the higher levels just make it easier for you to not have as much accuracy as you would need. That's pretty much about it. But gonna cut to the boss room and I'll see you guys there. Okay, so now that we're at the boss door, I do want to mention for your tank, I said I don't put anything on her, but just in case, I want to say put Galvanize there. Because sometimes, especially in multiplayer, if you do this in multiplayer with anybody, you can lose Galvanize if you do walk in the door as like your AI partner or whatever else like that. So really, I'm going to use Galvanize, Bulwark, Billion Blossom. Going to switch to Philia and use all her buffs. Switch back to my character and then switch to Silica because I want to go in and I want to down him and everything with Silica because I'm going to use Mind Break and hit wits on him. So you'll see how this pretty much plays out. I'm also going to be downing him with the dual wield sword skills like I mentioned before. That way I can build up my skill connect EX easier. So instantly, super art, you don't need to. She has enough to go whip in this, but go like that. Switch to my character. Keep in mind that if a mob is doing a skill or an action and you use Mind Break, it's not going to work. Okay, so I messed that up right there. But there we go, 2 out of 2. And as you see, like, just wits in and everything, it's big damage, like, even without fully upgrading everything. And there you go. Also, his level was 102 right there. But that's how you do it for beginners. Depending on whatever weapon you use, you will... This is just a setup for dual wield, as this is, in my opinion, the easiest a new player can do an extreme raid with, since you'll have 2 weapons and 2 bonds and then 2 upgrades. So that's pretty much it. Yeah, like I said, you can do this with +5 gear. You could pretty much do this with no upgraded gear. As long as you have the accuracy and everything, you're good. But hope this helps, and if any questions, let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.